Hello again. This is Saul and Wombat. Well, after our donut excursion, I think I may have had too much of the donut. I think Wombat should have eaten half of it, but I had more than that. So after a sugar high and a sugar crash, I'm back. We're only going to do a little bit right now. I just have it in my mind to do the things I mentioned at the end of our last session, which are to clean up a couple of things. I've got these three top items here to basically keep the playhead and the row cursor in sync a little bit. We're going to do the light sync thing to see how that feels. And then add a little status message after we do a cut, and then we're going to colorize the marker rows. Honestly, each of these things should just take a few minutes a piece, so let's get started and see how fast we can do it. And I'm not going to go back and have any more donut, but I can at least take off for the evening and have some dinner and just kind of chill. So here is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to try to keep the playhead and the row cursor in sync. So the idea is that when we are playing the audio, our cursor could be anywhere. If the cursor is on the current playing audio segment, and then it advances to the next one, or we find out that it's advanced to the next one, then the cursor will automatically advance. So we're kind of always going to stay on. Once you're in sync, you stay in sync. You're not going to. If you don't touch anything, you're not going to get out of sync. If you move the cursor, you'll be out of sync, and that's okay. You can press GG and get back in sync. So let's try that for now. The first thing here, we're going to. So all I think we're going to do, here we go. We're going to do a check row. We have a check cursor or something like that. We could do that. I guess there's actually one other thing we're going to have to do here. I hadn't thought about this quite. This is a fine thing to do as long as the interface is being updated. But currently there's a bit of an issue in that, here we go, it's don't sell after 1 second. It's the next thing on the list. So the idea is that vdaw, in order to conserve compute, whatever, after it's noticed that nothing's happened for a second, it just stops. It just hangs and waits there for us, which is great. It saves laptop battery. It's a kind of an important thing for vdaw as a whole anyway. Now in the audio space, audio is being played in the background, and I would expect both the status marker to be updated continuously, even if it's been a second or a minute or whatever. And also in this case, we want to be able to check whether the cursor needs to be moved kind of perpetually. So we're going to have to disable that. So I think that's actually the first thing here. We can test this by running it on the transcript, pressing play at a certain point, and watching the. Well, you can see right now, I just press play, the time will stop updating after a second.
Hello, and welcome to Magworld.
There you go.
Where we like to ask big questions.
So, and then it updates again once I press a key, but that's not very useful for me to be pressing keys all the time. So we have to fix that, and that shouldn't be, well, we'll see. Let's see how bad this is. This is in the main loop here. Here's this timeouts before idle. I'm wondering if I can't just set this to equal 0. Timeouts before idle equals 0. We'll keep it at the non-idle timeout. So let's just try that. And I'm going to do this in the DAW when we are opening anything. Now this is not that great for me just to bang it in here. Just say, if you're opening a transcript, where are we here? Down here, open transcript. I think I'm just going to do this. So if you're ever opening a podcast, all of a sudden your vdaw application is perpetually going to not. Just continue the update, which is not. It's not the worst thing. It'll still work. It's just going to take a lot more energy. So let's see if this actually just does the trick here. We're going to. And ideally, this would be on a per sheet basis, but that'd be a much bigger vdaw issue to fix. So let's just play this here. I'll find a new section here.
Right.
Go.
Whenever you're talking about something real,
oh, interesting.
You have
So now it's not updating at all. So that's actually wrong. Timeouts before idle. I could make a huge number. That seems like not the best idea here. If it's greater than, I see, -1. -1 is the turn it off option. Okay.
Except the mag level is 1 less than the number of figures.
And there you go. It's
so
updating
6 figures
continuously now. So okay. And stop. I'm gonna stop. So okay, so that's gonna at least be that one little bit here. Don't select it 1 second. Fine. Now if we make this be, let's see here, we're going for playhead stats. So we could update it. So the question is, where are we going to move the cursor? There actually is a cursor, check cursor, I think I said. I think that's it. Check cursor. Okay, there it is, check cursor. And that's called here in the draw phase. So I think if we just add a check cursor, which we want to use this still. This is makes sure the cursor stays on the screen basically and fixes it if it's not. We're going to add a check cursor function, which is in the subclass here, and we're going to call the superclass's check cursor. I'm not sure if it's going to be first or last. Let's do it first for the moment. And then I here want to get the current time, see if it's, let's see how we do this. We want to see if the current time is the next row. Either we're looking for the current time being the next row, or we're going to try to keep track of where the cursor was and the time it was. And that seems messy. So I think we're just going to be kind of hacky about it and be like, okay, well, if we're only 1 row off and the current time is on the next row, then it'll automatically advance. Now, that might be a problem in that you may not be able to go up. Like if you are playing something, you can go down, you can go a page up, but if you go exactly 1 up, it's just going to keep bumping you back down. That's my expectation. Let's just code it up and see. I mean, I think I'm right, but we'll see. And then maybe we can either hack that together or figure out a way around it or think it through more with some more information. So what we want to do is just see if the current time, self.playback time, is within the next row. So it's actually cursor row index plus 1 rows. I think there's actually might be a row function that a function that gets the current row and that's fine. This is adequate for the moment. I think next row. I think I actually we're gonna say if self.cursor row index is less than number of rows minus 1, same thing as before. Cursor row index. Then the next row is gonna be that. Cursor row index plus 1. Great. And then if the playback time is between next row start, next row end. I'll be generous with this. And just set the row index by 1. That might work. Let's find out. Let's find some. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a end minus start here. I'm just going to find a. Find a short one here. Fine, 2 seconds.
I guess mass, kilograms, pounds.
That's right, mass.
Okay. It did not work. Why would that not work? Start is less than playback time. we can see, at least make sure this is being called here. I don't know. Share anything. And then, let's try this here.
You know, from quantum mechanics, everything is actually one. But yes, also there are these smallest particles when you are talking about matter, called atoms. And so they theorized that there were an infinite number of atoms and an infinite number of types of atoms. So,
okay, I'm spending too much time waiting for it. Is there anything? Here we go.
do you know which atom is the smallest atom?
So are we talking like mass?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
A hydrogen atom.
Hydrogen, right? A hydrogen atom.
Well, it seems to work. Did I just not? I may not have reloaded, I guess, or something. That seems to work anyway.